Hey y'all, this is Jillian Rico. I want to give y'all some coaching news that happened from January 30th to today. So let's get to it. Starting with the Buffalo Bills. So Buffalo making a good move in promoting Bobby Bacella. Sorry, can't spell it. Linebackers coach Bobby Bacella as their defensive coordinator. Young coach. So well deserved for him. Congratulations for Bobby to take over that job. Let's get to Carolina. So Carolina Panthers, they made the press conference of Dan Morgan and Dave Canales. Congrats to those two guys. The Panthers on Tuesday, January 30th, they have hired Buccaneers assistant head coach and run game coordinator Harold Goodwin as their new assistant head coach plus running game coordinator. They also agreed with the teams with running backs Benny Permal, but former Jaguars running backs coach, wide receivers coach Rob Moore, and offensive line coach Joe Gilbert. And they did announce to part ways with the passing game coordinator Parks Fraser. Then they made the hire of their new offensive coordinator, and it is Brad Isdick. I'm sorry, I can't say it. The former Buccaneers wide receiver coach now becomes the new offensive coordinator for the Carolina Panthers. So I think it's a really decent start on on offense. We'll see what happens then. Let's get to Chicago. The Bears have hired former Panthers offense coordinator Thomas Brown. Yes, you heard what I just said in my mouth. Thomas Brown as their pass game coordinator. And he's a rising head coach. Last time we saw him, we thought he was going to get coaching interviews. He got coaching interviews. We thought he's going to get like some kind of a job like Houston. But he didn't get it. He gets the OC job in Carolina. It went not so well after all. But now, but now he's going to Chicago. And I think it's going to work. I really think he's going to do a great job in Chicago. He's going to be on with DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney, Cole Kmet. They're going to hope to get a quarterback. We'll see what they'll do with Justin Fields. That will be the question mark. Let's go. Ben Johnson. If y'all know this, Ben Johnson informing both Seattle, Washington that he is staying in Detroit. I want to talk about this more because this was I think his third season as a Lions OC or second season. When I heard that on that day, I was surprised. I thought this was going to be the year he gets a head coaching job. Washington was the number one team to get Ben Johnson. He said, no, I'm staying in Detroit. Seattle were also interesting, but he also told them that. I think what we're seeing here is he's going to look to get an extension with Detroit. Maybe that's not going to happen. We'll see. Or he wants to take this one last time and maybe he gets a head coaching job. So I think that's an interesting news. Not only he is staying with Detroit, we'll get to the other guy who's staying with the team in a moment. But let's get to that. Denard Wilson, Ravens secondary coach, has been requesting an interview for the Packers DC. So he's already got hired, and I'll get to where he is. Here's the other guy. Bobby Slowick and Gerard Johnson will return to the Houston coaching staff in 2024. I think this makes sense. I mean, Gerard Johnson got some offense coordinating jobs or interviews. Bobby Slowick got head coaching interviews. He stays. I think it makes sense. I would say this. First-year coaches get head coaching jobs. Is that a good thing? Yeah. Yes. But if you have guys who never experienced head coaching jobs, you got to build around. I mean, you got to build around for the team. You got to. Let's keep going. Brandon Staley scheduled to interview with the Rams vacancy on Wednesday, in which was today. Today is Wednesday. Today's Thursday. I'm sorry. So I'll get to that in a minute. Greg Lewis interview with the Saints for the offensive coordinating job. I think it worked. I think it's a good one. Now Lewis, who is a former NFL receiver, won 2 Super Bowls on Andy Reid's staff in Kansas City before joining Baltimore this past season. So that was a surprise. All right, this is the interesting hire for Pittsburgh. Arthur Smith as their new offensive coordinator. Now, Steelers fans, you can rally your towels because what you're going to get for him is run the football. When you have Najee and Jaylen Warren, those two guys, those two players are going to make a duo. And what did Arthur Smith do? Derrick Henry was affected on the running game. With the Falcons as head coach, he did it with Tyler Algier, Cordell Patterson, Bijan Robinson. The only concern was the quarterback problem. Sorry. And I think what is going on is he's not coaching well. I'm not saying he's coaching bad. It's just calls that's not going aggressive. So what's this going to mean for him in Pittsburgh? Run the football, and make some play action throws. Because you got Kenny Pickett as your starter. And I think it will work out. We'll see what happens for Arthur Smith, but congrats to him as he takes the offensive coordinating job. Denard Wilson also interviewed with the Titans. I'll get to that in a minute. That was from January 30. Let's get to January 31st. Gary will remain with the Falcons as assistant head coach. He also agreed with a contract extension to stay in Atlanta. They officially announced the news alongside with the others. The Panthers hired Chiefs Vice President of Football Operations Brent Tillis. Sorry, I know I don't do this a lot, but that's my fault. Sorry. As the Panthers hiring Brandon Tillis as their executive vice president of football operations. So it was announced on Wednesday. All right, this was another one for the Packers. The Packers bring in Jeff Hafley, Boston College head coach, as their defensive coordinator. Do I like the move? I think I will like it. He's been a co-defensive coordinator only 1 year. That's at Ohio State. But I think this is the opportunity to Green Bay to show Detroit they can still win the division. I could see it. Next year's favorites for the NFC North title is going to be Detroit, Green Bay, Minnesota, and Chicago. Think about it. The Packers can play well on offense. The Lions have been really aggressive on fourth down. And then you got the Vikings, who are in a quarterback problem. We'll see what happens in Minnesota. Chicago, they're going to get probably a rookie quarterback, Caleb Williams. And then they're going to just start like a 5 or 6 win team. We'll see what happens from them. Bringing in Jeff Hafley, I think is a good start for them. So we'll see what happens there in Green Bay. Congrats to him. Coaching news. Let's see. Luke Getsy interview with the Patriots for the offensive coordinating job. Jeremiah Springer has been hired as the new special teams coordinator, according to Ian Rappaport. Splinter, who's the Rams assistant special teams coach, now joining the Patriots as the special teams coordinator under Gerard Mayo. Something to see there. Finally, a head coach was hired yesterday. Mike Macdonald goes to the Seattle Seahawks, and now he becomes the youngest head coach to be hired in NFL history. The 36-year-old is signing a 6-year deal. And he had his press conference today, so check it out. I want to say this. I think this is a good hire. I think it's a good hire. A lot of people are mentioning he's bringing back the Legion of Doom or Legion of Boom. I'm going to say that's not happening. Why? Because you're going to build. You got a coach who's building the team. All right? I could see that again. I could see the Legion of Boom coming back, but don't overreact. That's too much. It's too far. It's too far to go saying the Legion of Boom. But Mike Macdonald, congrats to him. He's the new head coach. Who's the Ravens DC? I'll get to that, which happened today. So as we continue, Tad Lewis, Bucs quarterbacks coach, interview for the OC. Special teams coordinator Seth Armstrong informed the Bucs that he is retiring. So they are going to search for a special teams coordinator. All right, and then here's Denard Wilson. The Titans are expecting to hire Ravens defensive backs coach Denard Wilson as their defensive coordinator. Now, he did have some interest in interviews with the Giants, which I think the Giants were really interesting in him. Baltimore, maybe they can promote him as their defensive coordinator. It doesn't matter. Denard Wilson will now be joining the Tennessee Titans and Brian Callahan's coaching staff. Congrats to Denard Wilson. All right, let's get to today. Starting with the Ravens. Zach Orr, the inside linebackers coach, has been promoted as the defensive coordinator. Makes sense because Green Bay also interview. They were going to request an interview for Zach Orr for the DC job, but however, Jeff Havley get the DC in Green Bay. Zach Orr is the new DC in Baltimore. Chicago are hiring Jason Huggett-Taylor as their assistant offensive line coach. He served as the Titans offensive line coach for the 2023 season. So bring it on. All right, this is a surprise. This was a big surprise for me because I did not expect this to happen. Cliff Kingsbury, if you heard this guy before, who was the head coach of Arizona from 2019 to 2012. No, 2019 to 2022. Cliff Kingsbury is the new offensive coordinator for the Las Vegas Raiders. This is a big one because I mentioned this. He interviewed with the Eagles. He interviewed with the Eagles. This one is big for the Raiders because Cliff Kingsbury will be calling the plays, and Antonio Pierce got someone. So we don't know if Patrick Graham will return. We'll see. I think he'll return. Cliff Kingsbury is going to help that offense to be an elite team to compete for an AFC West title. And this AFC West is going to go crazy with those coaches. Let's keep going. Chris Sheila. Now, there's two news about him. So earlier, Chris Sheila, grandson of legendary Dolphins coach Don Sheila, interviewed for the Dolphins DC. That happened earlier. Now, I am told the Rams are planning to promote Chris Sheila as their defensive coordinator. Now, he's been promoted from pass rush coordinator and linebackers coach as defensive coordinator. Now, Chris Sheila, he's the grandson of the longtime legendary head coach Don Sheila. Congratulations, Sheila. Congratulations. All right. Patriots hiring Alex Van Pelt. I think this is a good hire. whoever the quarterback in New England is going to be, I think Van Pelt will probably call the offense, and it's going to work it out. I like the move. I really love the move. So congrats to Alex Van Pelt. Let's continue. Tyquan Thibaudet has been hired as Titans' new wide receivers coach. He spent last season with the Bears in the same role. He was been with DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney, real good receivers coach. So congrats to him. I want to give a shout out to the Washington Commanders for getting themselves a D plus from CBS. CBS, I think Jonathan Jones or someone, because they have hired Dan Quinn. And I'm not laughing. I'm speechless about this hire. Because they could have made the opportunity to just hire Ben Johnson. That's it. They could have had the opportunity to hire Bobby Slurry. Didn't work. They could have hired Mike McDonald. And I'm watching you, Washington, because y'all could have hired him. That didn't work out. That did not work out. So Dan Quinn gets his second coaching job. And all I can say is congratulations, Dan Quinn. Congrats as the new Washington head coach. Now Washington. This is another big one because I just knew this happening. Chip Kelly. So if you don't know who Chip Kelly is, who was the former Eagles head coach, I am told that Chip Kelly is a potential offensive coordinator for the Washington Commanders. So, okay, I know who Chip Kelly is. He's the UCLA head coach. He was the former Eagles head coach. This will be massive for Dan Quinn because you hire Chip Kelly. Think about the offense that Chip Kelly is going to run with maybe Drake May, maybe Caleb Williams, something like that. That's going to be interesting. But he's not hired, but we'll see what happens there. Last thing to say, the Titans have also hired someone, and it is Bill Callahan, who is who father and son are going to meet each other. Bill Callahan, Bill Callahan is going to be a Tennessee Titan, and I'll be honest, I think this is a good move. Hold up. Let me find him. Sorry because of that. I'm really sorry, y'all. This is a long day. But here it is. Here it is. Browns offensive line coach Bill Callahan is expected to join the Titans staff. Brian Callahan's father is going to join his staff. And I think it works out. I think with him, he's a former head coach in the NFL. I think his father will give him some learning steps to be a good, successful coach in the NFL. So he is going to be part of the staff. Congrats to him. Hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment below, and what I will do for y'all is I will grade the NFL head coaches that are full. I will be grading them. So stay tuned. I will get to that. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification button, and leave a comment below of your team's head coach. What is the grade for your head coach? And as always, see you in the next one.